Hey, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk About Things and Stuff, where we talk about things and also stuff. I'm your friendly neighborhood youth guy, Matt Parker, and this is my good friend, Katelyn. Say hey, Katelyn.
Heyo.
How's your week going so far?
It's been better.
Yeah?
So, unexpected medical things with my dad, and then
that stinks.
work hasn't been the greatest, so.
Yeah. Well, that happens sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do to, like, when you're like feeling like you're dragging at work? What's your go-to to, like, put a little pep back in your step?
Well, it depends on the situation. Like, for example, this morning, it was, things just weren't working as we hoped, and things were, like, the schedule wasn't as going as we hoped, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, I just gotta power through it, do the best I can.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can't do anything but my job and to do what I'm doing. So.
You know what I do? Whenever I'm feeling a little low, I've got my stash. I pull out the Jelly Bellies, and it gets me going. You want some?
No, thank you.
What's your favorite Jelly Belly? Do you have a favorite flavor?
I don't often eat jelly beans.
I would probably go for the green apple. Whenever I get the green apple, it's always a pleasant kind of taste in my mouth, and I think I've got one right here. Nope. That is not green apple. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not. Well, well, we've got a great conversation to have today. But first, let's take a look at your favorite water bottle stickers, or just stickers in general. If you have a favorite sticker that you've put on, well, anything really. I like to put mine on my journals. This one is from a group called Youth Stuff, and it's a marshmallow, a flaming marshmallow, and it says "Be Light." This one I just got today from my good friend Katelyn. It says "Bold as a lion." That's a good one. But my favorite one right now. Oh, where did it? Oh, there it is. It's a pilot helmet. It's Goose from Top Gun,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks just like his helmet there. I don't know if you can see that. Boom, there it is. So what's your favorite sticker?
I don't know if I have a favorite, because I brought my whole sticker collection and I only picked a few.
Oh, nice.
Like I have this one, and it's a raccoon, but it just says Midwest House Cat, because they're very common in the Midwest, and it was a humorous thing I saw when I was shopping a little boutique when I was in Springfield.
I have a story about that. My father-in-law sent me a picture the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, this guy just got kicked out of Walmart. And it was this guy holding a raccoon as if he were holding a baby. And it was giant. It was like a giant raccoon. And he was like holding it like this. It was face to face, as if they were about to, I don't know, kiss or something. I don't know. But it was, yeah, it was interesting. He was claiming that it was his emotional support raccoon. The Walmart folks weren't buying it, though. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And I also have just basic, like, Chiefs one, because
Chiefs.
I'm a Chiefs fan.
Yeah,
And
totally.
then cow.
That's my favorite. I like that one.
Yeah. And then I have, I brought my water bottles that I have decked out. Like, I have, the band from camp. Oh, gosh. What was the name of People of the Earth?
Ah, yes. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is their drummer.
Okay.
And so it's just,
From Generate Camp.
yeah.
I have some Generate Camp.
And I have a bunch of
stickers.
Generate Camp all over here. All over this one.
There's my Generate Camp sticker.
Oh, I have a
I get a
whole
lot
bunch.
of stickers from camps and like youth organizations, youth ministry stuff.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the only place I get stickers. Except, guess what? This one that I just got from you, and this one that my wife got for me from a friend of ours. So, yeah.
And then I like to get ones that are like location based.
Is that Colorado?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I have Michigan.
Michigan.
in like Midwest, Kansas City. I try and that's one of the things I get as like a souvenir when I go anywhere is a sticker. So
nice.
Because then even on my laptop I have like Lake of the Ozarks, Midwest. That's from a school related club. So
yeah, happy looks good on you. That's a good one. Well, cool. So anyway, drop a picture of your favorite stickers on your water bottle or journal or whatnot, and you can drop them in the comment section. You can send us a DM, put them in your own socials, whatever you choose to do is just fine with us, and we'd love to see them. So yeah.
Okay.
Right. Fantastic. All right, so let's move on to our what we're consuming in the cultural arena. Katelyn, what you got?
This past Friday, I went to the Ben Rector concert when he was in town.
Ben Rector. Mm-hmm. Love it. Where was he? Where did he play?
It was at the Midland.
The Midland. That's downtown.
Yes.
Nice. Right on.
And it was, it's the Old Friends acoustic tour.
Okay.
So,
was it good? Did you have a good time?
I haven't listened. I didn't really know of Ben Rector much until Jaren and Madeline had shared about Ben Rector. You're really trying to ignore it, aren't you?
I am. You can probably hear that there's some construction going on the other side of this wall. So I apologize, but it's just gonna keep going, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they had seen him in concert a year or so ago, and they had talked about it, and so I listened to him some then, and then back in the summer, Madeline mentioned of him coming back through tour, and so I'm like, why not? Because they enjoy his music so much, and I've enjoyed what I had heard at the point in time, so.
Like me some Ben Rector. I've got a playlist on my Spotify that's Ben Rector-ish, so it's just like bands that are similar in that acoustic kind of indie pop kind of
He even did a Little Mermaid medley.
Little Mermaid, like Under the Sea and all of that?
100%, yes.
Nice. Love it.
It was good.
I bet that's a wild concert. Like nuts, like people going crazy.
Like, so wild you're sitting down the entire time.
You're sitting down the entire time. That's fantastic. All right, well, I watched some Ted Lasso over the last couple of weeks. It is brilliant. Like, the creativity and the storytelling and the acting and all of it is just extremely well done. And there are so many F-bombs and dirty jokes that I don't really recommend it. Like, it's okay, so it's about an American football coach who's hired to coach an English soccer team. So football kind of thing. But he was hired because the owner of the organization wanted to tank her team because she was going through a messy divorce, and it was the only team that her husband had loved, and so she was wanting to destroy everything that he loved. And so it's the whole story of how Ted Lasso comes in as this guy who knows nothing about football, and but he knows about coaching, and he knows about how to bring people together and develop a culture of unity and teamwork. And so it's a whole story of how he wins and fails and builds relationships. And it's really weird. It's brilliant, but I don't recommend it because of the language and the dirty jokes and all that stuff. There's no actual sexual content really, except for crude references and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm a little up in the air as to whether I'm glad I watched it. But of course, Jason Sudeikis is from here, not Lee Summit, but Kansas City area, and so I was like, it's on Apple TV. I had a free subscription. I thought I'd give it a go, but see what the hype is all about. There are a lot of really good, meaningful, and also a lot of good, hilarious things. in it, but
Okay.
There's not a lot of soccer. That's one of the things I was surprised about. Like each show, there's like a tiny bit. Like they'll do a whole game in like 30 seconds, and it's like a lot less than you. It'll show like a few scenes, but
anyway. So you were hoping for more?
I was hoping for more soccer.
Okay. Because
I like soccer.
Yeah.
Even though it's a long game, sometimes boring, sometimes ends in a tie, and that. But I like it. I like watching it, especially live. Watching soccer live is the way to go, or with a group of people who also love soccer.
Okay.
Yeah. My best soccer watching experience was, I think it was 2016, maybe 15. I don't remember exactly. It was probably 16 because that was a World Cup year, right? Was 16 a World Cup year? I think it was. And
I think so.
We were in Paraguay when Argentina was in the World Cup. And I think they were in the World Cup finals at the time. And Argentina and Paraguay are right next to each other. And so it was like this electric atmosphere in this little mall that we went to eat in the food court of this mall. And so like everybody, like the place was packed during the World Cup matches. And it was just, everybody was going nuts. It was an amazing time. All right, well, let's talk about what's going on in the world. Have you been following the war of Israel and Hamas and all that stuff?
I've heard things here and there.
Yeah.
Ever since I graduated high school, I have tended to not watch much news. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I've heard things here and there from friends and my parents and anyone else talking about it.
Yeah. Well, the older I get, the more interested I get in like politics and world events and stuff like that. I do remember listening to the news with my dad when we were riding in the car or whatnot. He'd be listening to talk radio when I was in high school, and so I guess that kind of started off my sort of interest in what's going on in politics and stuff. But lately, I've like in the last several years, 6 or 8 years, I've just been like, I don't know, I can't get enough of it. I'm watching it and just kind of tracking, learning. Mainly it's because there's a lot of stuff I don't know about world politics and stuff like that. And so I just want to really get into it and get to know it. But there was something that happened. I don't remember exactly which day it was, but I think it was late last week. There was a rocket or a missile or some kind of explosive device that exploded in a parking lot of a hospital in Gaza, and immediately Hamas comes out and they're like, "This is Israel attacking hospitals," and so the New York Times picked it up and several other outlets as well, but the New York Times have really been in the news for this. The New York Times picked it up and they were like, without qualification, without saying stuff like, well, we don't really know what's going on here. There's a lot of information that hasn't been discovered yet. But they were just like, Israeli rocket hits. I don't know what the exact headline was, but it was something to the effect of Israel, whether on purpose or by accident, has hit this hospital with a rocket. And it comes out a couple of days later. In fact, Joe Biden was over there last week and was like, no, that wasn't Israel. There's been evidence that's come out since then that's like pretty clear that it was actually a group related to Hamas from inside Gaza who had like a rocket shoot off by mistake. And so it's been that kind of a little hubbub over the last few days for the New York Times that they shut out the story so that they could be first without making sure that their facts were all straight. And so anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. Have you ever seen a story like that? Do you?
I feel like I've heard of a similar situation happening. I don't know an exact example.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've heard a story, even maybe including New York Times, of having not gotten all their facts straight and made sure they were truly actual facts before posting it. Because, I mean, in the world of media, it's like, you're first or you're last kind of thing, because you want to be the one to discover this and be the first to cover everything, especially in such a big thing as what's going on in Israel and Gaza.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, this sort of like journalistic integrity thing is kind of a big deal, or it should be. It used to be a major thing. Like, there's this guy named Dan Rather who was like completely like what I don't know what the term is, but he was like a big name in the news, and then all of a sudden he was like taken out. Like, he doesn't do the news anymore because he was sharing false information about the president at the time, and he just lost all of his journalistic integrity and couldn't get a job anywhere. I don't know if he's still doing anything at all, but at the time it was this major deal. Mm-hmm. But these days, like media outlets will just throw out stories, like you said, to be first. It's a salacious kind of story, and so they want to be the ones who break the news. And it's right. like, can you really like how do you trust that what they're saying is actually true? Or are they just kind of throwing this out there, whether it's true or not, and then moving on to the next story that's going to get clicks and eyeballs? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? How do you decide what media outlets to trust?
I mean, at this point I have a thought of like, how can I trust anything? Because, I mean, for all I know, there could be truth to everything that I read, but not entirely true. So, they dramatize it or emphasize other areas to make it, more enticing.
Right. They spin it in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, and it makes me think of, back in, elementary through high school, when you're doing any kind of research paper, you want to have a solid, trusted resource.
Yeah.
So, they'd go you go through academic journals or anything that's not like New York Times, because there are biases and there are factors in that can make it lean one way or the other, or cause just things to not be entirely true. Right. So there's no perfect way to figure out if you're to trust a source.
Well, I'd love to find out what you guys are actually turning to for your information about the world. Like, do you trust TikTok news outlets, or do you go to YouTube, or do you even care at all? Are you just like I don't really, doesn't really affect me too much. I don't have to worry about it so much, so I'm just gonna let it go. And I completely get that, completely understand that. But when you do find news sources, I encourage you to go not just to one news source, but to go to multiple, because like Katelyn said, every news source that you're going to turn to has a bias of some sort. It is unless they're just reporting the facts, but even then, the facts that you choose to focus on, like you might report on an event in Gaza, but not report on an event in Nigeria, and just the fact that you have that journalistic kind of decision making process means that you are going to allow the things that you care about to take the forefront of what you present. And so every news outlet on planet Earth has a bias of some sort. And so it's important for us to get news from different perspectives, to have a wide range of news, and then we kind of figure out and hold the information that we have loosely, because I say with an open hand, because you might be wrong, you might be getting information that's not entirely accurate, or also fake news. It's fake news.
Can be.
It can be. It can be very fake. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So post your favorite news outlet into the comments, or shoot us a DM, or put it on your social media along with your favorite water bottle or journal stickers, and we'll look forward to seeing those. Yeah.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we will. All right. Well, this has been Let's Talk About Things and Stuff, where we talk about things and also stuff. We'll see you again next time.